Face me, human, if you dare.
Alright everyone, things are starting to slowly get back to normal down here in Florida, so today I figure we're going to kick it a little old school and sculpt Demona from Gargoyles. I don't know if any of you 80s or 90s babies remember this cartoon, but it was dope. Go check out some highlight reels on YouTube. Maybe that's nostalgia speaking, but I remember it being really awesome. I really feel like a gargoyle would fit the theme of October. I really wanted to do the Primeval from Diablo 3, but the hurricane kind of pushed back my project schedule, and if I want to get something done before the end of the month, it has to be something a little bit more simple. And if I'm gonna do the Primeval, I have to do it right. I have to sit down and take all of my time. So yeah, I'm gonna be doing Demona for this video. So without any further delay and with Bimba's approval, hello! Let's get the video started, shall we? Alright everyone, we're starting the sculpture as we always do with a nice blueprint sketched on a sheet of paper, and we're laying out the armature wire to get a proper skeleton going. Now that's going to be the foundation of the piece. You always want to ensure your foundation is good. Now as you see here, I'm brushing on some bacon bond. I will try to link this down below in the description. This stuff is a lifesaver. It helps the clay adhere to any type of surface you want to have it stick to. It's really handy. Okay, so right now I'm just kind of bulking out the piece, getting the muscles in place. Now, I didn't want to go too overly complex with the muscles on this one because the cartoon character herself, she's got some definition, but it's not like modern day like muscles. Like it's very simple. So I wanted to kind of lean into that with this piece. Something I couldn't decide on, and here's more bacon bond. Something I couldn't decide on. In the cartoon, the gargoyles sometimes use their wings as like a cape, and I have her in this like dynamic kind of ready pose, and I really didn't want to sculpt the wings because they're huge, and in the past I've had wings that broke, so I didn't want to overdo it with the wings, so I scaled them down a little bit and decided to keep the wings in instead of keep them as a cape, because she's in this action pose, so her cape shouldn't be down, her wings should be up, and she should be ready to go. So that's kind of where my mind was at when I decided to go forward with the wings, even though I scaled them down just a bit. Another thing that is a first for me with this piece is I wanted her to be like very aggressive looking, and I tried to sculpt like her like in a yelling kind of expression, and her eyebrows are where the detail is, and I ended up covering up the eyebrows because she's got this crown piece, and I tried to furrow her brows. Something I wanted to do was like take away some of the cheek definition to where it looks more like, if you look in the mirror with your mouth wide open, your cheeks kind of depress in on themselves, and that's something that I wish I did a little bit more with the yelling, because you could tell her mouth is open, but it doesn't look like she's like angry and yelling. So that's something I would have changed about it. So I sprayed on a layer of primer off camera, and here I'm using my wet palette again. I mentioned my wet palette in the last video. I love it. It's amazing. And I just kind of did a plain base coat with everything, and then I didn't go, like I said earlier with the muscle definition, I didn't go too overly complex with everything. I actually did a third new thing for this sculpture, which is implementing the use of pastels. And I believe I was watching a Dr. Garuda video, and he used pastels, he shaved them down into a powder, and he used those to kind of push the detail of the shadows. So you're gonna see me do that with the dark blue in a second, where there's like kind of recessed areas. I push the detail with the pastels. Oh, and another useful tip, if you're going to be painting gold on like I am, start with a tan color first as the base coat, and then do the gold, because you're going to find yourself having to paint on 4 or 5 different layers of gold, whereas if you do a tan, off the top of my head, Folk Art Camel is the color I used. I did 1 coat of that, and then 2 coats of gold, and it was good. Here's the pastels that I was referring to. So you see how I kind of push it into the recessed areas to kind of pull out that shadow. And I think it worked really well. This is something you can also do with normal paint or a air gun, but I really wanted to try something new. So here we've got the final shots. I hope you all enjoyed the video. See you guys at the end. Alright everyone, and that just about wraps up my video sculpture process of Demona from Gargoyles here. Hopefully I brought her justice. I think I did. So with that all being said, I'm not 100% sure what the next video is going to be. I did recently unlock the community tab, so I'll play around with that maybe and get some engagement going and see how that goes. So yeah, happy Halloween guys. Peace.